Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving headfirst down a rabbit hole that has captivated philosophers, scientists, and pretty much anyone who's ever stared up at the night sky and wondered, what is all this? The question is as simple as it is mind-bending. Are we living in a computer simulation? Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds like something straight out of the Matrix, and you're not wrong. The idea was popularized by that film. But the concept itself has much deeper roots, stretching back to ancient philosophers who questioned the nature of their own reality. But in the 21st century, this isn't just a philosophical daydream. It's a serious hypothesis being debated by some of the brightest minds on the planet. So, where does this idea even come from? One of the most famous proponents is the philosopher Nick. In 2003, he published a paper that laid out what's known as the simulation argument. It's a bit complex, but the core idea is surprisingly straightforward. It boils down to three possibilities, and he argues that one of them is almost certainly true. Here they are. First, civilizations like ours almost always go extinct before they can develop the technology to create ultra-realistic simulations of reality. Think about all the hurdles we face. Climate change, pandemics, war. Maybe no civilization ever makes it past this great filter. Second, maybe advanced civilizations could create these simulations, but for some ethical or practical reason, they choose not to. Perhaps they see it as morally wrong, or maybe they just lose interest and would rather do something else with their immense computing power. Now, here's the third and most chilling possibility. We are almost certainly living in a computer simulation. Let's break that down. The logic goes like this. If you don't accept that civilizations always go extinct, and you don't accept that advanced beings would choose not to run simulations, then what are you left with? You're left with a future where post-human civilizations have unimaginable computing power. And what would they do with it? Well, what do we do with our computers? We run simulations. We simulate weather patterns, stock markets, and in video games, we simulate entire worlds. An advanced civilization could run billions or even trillions of ancestor simulations to study their own past. If they're running that many, then the number of simulated realities would vastly outnumber the one single base reality. So, based on pure probability, it's far more likely that we are one of those countless simulations than the original prime reality. Statistically speaking, you are more likely to be an NPC in a hyper-advanced game of The Sims than a being in the base universe. Okay, take a deep breath. It's a lot to process, but is there any actual evidence? Well, this is where things get really interesting and speculative. Scientists are actively looking for glitches in the matrix, so to speak. One idea is that if our universe is a simulation, it must have a finite amount of processing power. This means reality might not be smooth and continuous at the smallest scales. Instead, it might be made of discrete units, like pixels on a screen. This is eerily similar to what quantum mechanics tells us. At the quantum level, things don't behave in the smooth, predictable ways we're used to. Energy comes in discrete packets called quanta. Could the pixelated nature of our reality be the fundamental resolution of the simulation we're living in? Another clue might be the laws of physics themselves. Why are the physical constants of our universe like? The speed of light, or the strength of gravity so perfectly tuned to allow for the existence of stars, planets, and life. If they were even slightly different, the universe would be a sterile, empty void. Some call this the fine-tuning problem. One explanation is the multiverse theory, where there are infinite universes with different laws. But another, perhaps simpler, explanation is that these parameters were intentionally programmed. The coders of our simulation set the difficulty level just right, so that life could emerge and evolve. Think about video games. Developers often put hard limits on the game world. You can't travel faster than a certain speed, or go beyond the edge of the map. Our universe has a similar hard limit. The speed of light. Nothing with mass can reach it. Is this a fundamental law of nature? Or is it an artificially imposed processing constraint to keep the simulation stable? Even some of the weirdness of quantum mechanics could be explained this way. The famous double-slit experiment shows that a particle like an electron behaves as a wave when you're not looking, but collapses into a definite particle as soon as you observe it. In video game terms, this is like a game engine only rendering the details that the player is currently looking at to save processing power. Why render the detailed state of a particle if no one is observing it? Maybe our reality only renders itself in full detail when a conscious observer forces it to. Now, before you go trying to walk through walls, let's pump the brakes a little. For every argument in favor of the simulation hypothesis, there's a strong counter-argument. Many physicists argue that what we see as pixels or glitches are just the natural, albeit strange, workings of our universe as described by quantum mechanics. They don't require a programmer. The idea that the universe is fine-tuned can also be explained by something called the anthropic principle, which basically says that if the universe weren't tuned for life, we wouldn't be here to observe it in the first place. So, it's not surprising that we find ourselves in a universe that can support us. And the biggest hurdle for the simulation theory is that it's currently untestable. How do you design an experiment from asterisk? Inside asterisk, the simulation to prove that you in one. Any evidence we find could, in theory, just be another part of the simulation's code. It creates a sort of philosophical loop that's hard to break out of. It's a fascinating idea, but without a testable prediction, it remains in the realm of philosophy, not hard science. So, what does this all mean for us, right here, right now? Let's say, for a moment, that we accept it. We're living in a simulation. Does that mean our lives are meaningless? That our choices don't matter? I don't think so. In fact, many people find the idea strangely liberating. If this is a simulation, it's an incredibly detailed and meaningful one. The love you feel for your family, the joy of a beautiful sunset, the satisfaction of achieving a goal, those experiences, a real asterisk. You asterisk, your consciousness, your feelings and your relationships are just as valid. Whether they're rerunning on a biological brain in a base reality or on a sophisticated computer in a simulated one. Think of it this way. Does knowing a video game is made of code make the experience of playing it any less fun or challenging? No. You still want to win. Explore the world and connect with other players. Maybe the point isn't to figure out if we're in a simulation, but to live the best life we can within the reality we're given. To be kind, to be curious, to learn, to grow, and to make the most of this incredible, mysterious experience we call life. Whether it's base reality or simulation number 5832, it's the only one we've got. Let's make it a good one. Let's make it a good one. Is this all just a fun thought experiment? Or could there be some truth to it? Let me know your theories down in the comments. I'd love to read what you think about this mind-bending topic. Thanks so much for sticking with me through that cosmic journey. If you enjoyed this and want to explore more big questions about our world, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us out. Until next time, stay curious.